Hello and welcome. Today we'll be doing something different. Today we are exploring the challenge of Inktober. So as I'm using this YouTube channel to practice my own skills, I thought it's quite a good opportunity to do something different and to jump into the challenge of October slash Inktober to practice my architectural and design skills using fine liners, ink, and similar kind of tools. So what is Inktober? So Inktober initially started back in 2009 by Jake Parker, who's been running this um, challenge every year in the month of October. So the idea is that he wanted to improve his inking skills, and it became popular worldwide. And every year, thousands of artists do this challenge, and I decided to do it myself. So as we can see, Inktober is for the 31 days, you create 31 drawings, so one drawing a day using your inking skills to develop a good positive drawing habit. So you can be doing it for 50 minutes, 30 minutes, 2 hours, however long you want, as long as you turn up every day and make a drawing. So the way that they created this challenge is that every year they create these kind of traditional, in a way we could say, prompts. And the last one on the website, you can see 2016, but they've been running from 2009. And this year's prompts are stash, for example, for the first day, weave, crown, starfish. So you use these words to create essentially a drawing for using that theme. And I was thinking of Inktober to do something different for myself, and maybe this is something that's actually going to as well work for you, because you don't necessarily have to follow the prompts that are essentially created for Inktober. You can create your own prompts, or if you want to practice something very specific. So for me, I wanted to practice something that's architectural and design orientated. So feel free to use this prompt list for your liking as well. And so prompts I created, for example, I've been exploring things like the bridge, the futuristic skyscraper, and a football stadium at the beginning now. And there's different prompts essentially for every day, just to keep you testing different kind of creative concepts, essentially like creating a glass house design, for example, maybe focusing on something that's futurism, a pattern maybe that's used to design something, or maybe a floating building, or a concept which is more about being a nomad. So yeah, and today, as we can see, so for me, it's designing a lighthouse tower. So this is what we'll be doing today. So let's start by having a look at what kind of tools I like to use for this challenge, and generally, to be honest, my go-to. But for this sketchbook, I decided to get the Clairefontaine Paint on Mixed Media, just because it has quite nice thick paper. So 1050 grams per meter squared, which is quite nice, especially when you're using ink or if you want to use markers. And then I do like the Koino pencil, which has this kind of like metallic base, and then you can exchange and buy new lead for the pencil, and it's really great to just create like this kind of outline and guides. And then when it comes to fine liners, there's a lot of different type companies that do them, and all of them do very similar things. But kind of my go-to would be is this Stadler fine liners. Honestly, I feel like when I use them, they kind of have that last the longest, to be honest, and enjoy them the most. And I do use the microns, very popular as well, and they come in a very wide range of sizes as well if you want to use kind of something very fine or something detailed. So I do recommend them. And when it comes to kind of like later or like very kind of fluid drawings with something a bit more kind of thicker in a way for the marker, is the Pentel pen, honestly, got to be my favorite. So every time I start the sketch, I started with a simple baseline of like writing a guide with a pencil. And I want to use this moment to share a few tips for Inktober for you, as well as see if you'd like, for example, to try it out. And one of the tips is, don't be afraid to use a guide. if you want to create an initial sketch with a pencil, go for it. Don't let yourself stop to going straight with ink. If you're, say, afraid of a blank piece of paper, which often is the case for me, often you kind of be looking at blank piece of paper, afraid to put the first line because you think you might create an error. But creating this kind of guide with pencil can start allowing you to create the scale, the form, and then to dive into the detail of the fine line. And at the end of the day, practice what is most important for you. The other tip is about mindset. So Inktober isn't about perfection. Not every drawing is going to be perfect. It is about the daily progress that you'll be creating. And don't feel that you need to put yourself the pressure of creating a drawing a day. It is about being consistent. If, say, you want to create a drawing one every other day, or say create 3 or 4 drawings in a week, then set yourself your own challenges, your own aims, and stick to them. It is about turning up and doing that 15-30 minute drawing rather than not doing anything for the month. So what you want to see is improvement with time, and it doesn't matter how often or how much, as long as you are consistent with yourself. And probably one of the bigger tips is to plan ahead. Having these prompts is always very useful to kind of start thinking what you might be drawing. But the other thing is start having a think of and exploring what you could do for those prompts. Maybe it's looking up online of different ideas, reading books and seeing what's around. I think that's, for me, is always incredibly useful. And remember that Inktober isn't necessarily just using those prompts that come on the website. That's already a guide. Although the prompts I have suggested, you can create your own prompts and do something that you find enjoyable. And at the end of the day, that is what is most important. So jumping into the drawing that I've been creating today, the lighthouse, I've decided to use a system which is slightly different to my other drawings in the last days, and to use this triangulating form. So the thinking of the general form of a cylinder, like a kind of pyramid for a lighthouse, you can break down the curvature of the form into triangles, and this can create this 3-dimensional shape where you start cross-hatching the specific triangles depending on the way that the light comes down. So I thought that this was quite actually successful for me, and really enjoyed as well the form that's created for the building, which is a bit different to your traditional lighthouse. And then these forms you can then bring down to different parts of the drawing. If it's, for example, here, like the cliff that the lighthouse sits on, you can start cross-hatching the different triangles or parts under the triangles to create this kind of 3-dimensional shape, which I really enjoyed, and I'm going to be looking to explore this in the later drawings, I think, in the challenge. And generally, I have to say, I have this tendency of quite liking either buildings which are quite based on parametrics or curvature, or kind of quite contrasting, having this like triangulated form, which I think is going to be quite appealing and quite intriguing at the same time. So yeah, I really enjoyed this drawing, and think it's very, very happy with it. And the other kind of approach I took as well is to create this at the end, take a thicker fine liner and create this outline to create this effect that the building pops out a little bit more and emphasize the outline of the shape, which sometimes can actually be quite a useful tool if you want to try out for your drawings as well. If there's a specific kind of moment in a drawing that you want to pop out, creating this kind of emphasis can be quite a useful way of doing it. And here we have it, the lighthouse sketch for today's Inktober. So thank you for joining me in today's session and an exploration and in the of practicing, essentially, what kind of developing new skills. And I'll be continuously doing the Inktober for the month of October, so hope you will enjoy seeing the next sketches in the next days. And if you have any other ideas that you'd like to see for things for me to develop, practice and explore, then please comment below, and I cannot wait to see you guys next time. Thank you.